Alright friends, welcome to today's video. This time we're going to talk about malfunctions in Tarkov, how to fix them and how to avoid them so you don't lose a firefight to a shell that just doesn't want to eject like this one. Anytime you fire your gun in Tarkov, there's a chance for it to malfunction based on a certain set of conditions and parameters. For those that haven't seen one yet, this is what a jam looks like. You're firing your gun, everything's fine, and then suddenly it stops, horrible noise plays as light flashes red in the bottom. And you have to clear the jam yourself. You have to figure out what's wrong with it, and you have to resolve it, and then you can start firing again. So, for you, the player, there's two things you have to do. Step one, you have to identify it. The default keybind is L to do that. So you press L, you flip your gun, and then a little prompt pops up in the bottom right like that. So this time, in this case, our bolt jammed. As of version 12.12 of Tarkov, there are only two kinds of malfunctions your gun can experience, and for your purposes in-game, it doesn't really matter which one it is, because they're both cleared with the same generic resolve malfunction button, and by default that is set to Shift T. So that'll be the button you push to actually make your character clear the jam right there. And then you can start firing again. So L and Shift T are a bit of an annoying combination of buttons to push in the middle of an intense firefight, but there are some things you can do to either avoid it or make it easier on yourself. First option is simply to avoid it. Change guns entirely. If you carry a sidearm, or you've looted another gun, you can just pull that one out and that'll be a lot faster than fixing the jam. But that's really just kind of delaying the inevitable, because at some point you are going to have to fix the jam in your original gun. Otherwise you won't be able to fire it again. So even if you put it away and pull it back out, the jam will still be there. The second option is to make it easier to actually clear the jam. Let's say you're in combat, your gun malfunctions, for whatever reason you don't want to avoid it, you don't have another gun, your other gun doesn't have ammo, there's any number of reasons that this could happen. There is still a way for you to make it easier on yourself to take care of the malfunction, and that involves going to the keybind menu. You can see we have Inspect Current Weapon set to L like we said, and here we have the Fix Malfunction button set to Shift T as well. And on this side is where it gets interesting. We have all these options for pressing the buttons. When does the command get sent based on you inputting the command? So we have press by default for both of them, which is when the button goes down, send the command, do the thing. Then we have release here, which is similar, except it sends the command when you let the button go. Continuous is when you hold it, and then press, of course, double click, also pretty self-explanatory. So what you can do to make it easier is, instead of hunting for L key and Shift T, you find a button that's way more easy to push. One single button. Let's go with J for jam. So you'd set Inspect to J. You would also set Fix Malfunction to J. You would leave Inspect on press, and then you change Fix Malfunction to Release. So what this will do is, it changes the way to fix the jam to one single button. You hold the button down while your character flips the gun and figures out what the malfunction is. And then when that animation finishes, you let go of the button and your character will automatically clear the jam. So it's one button push. You don't have to hunt for multiple different keys. You don't have to press modifiers or think about anything like that. You just hold till the animation's done, let go, and then when the animation's done the second time, you're good to fire again. So as you can see, that's a much easier way to deal with malfunctions than the default way. Just one button press and release, wait for the animations, you're good to go. Next, we're going to talk about what causes malfunctions and how you can try to avoid them as much as possible. But even if you follow all that advice, I still recommend you set this up, because there's always going to be a chance of extenuating circumstances that, lead to jams. Say you bring a really nice gun that's full durability and everything, and you run out of ammo in it, and you have to rely on a dumpy scav gun that you picked up during the raid, and it has 5 bullets in it, but it jams on the third. You're going to wish you had the one button press way to do it. So with that, let's talk about how to avoid them. So the simplest thing you can do to avoid a malfunction is to use a gun with high durability. There's a certain threshold above which the gun will absolutely not ever malfunction, and that, as of Tarkov version 12.12, is 93%. So long as that number over there is above 93, then your gun will be totally fine. The next contributing factor to a malfunction is the mag size. Usually, like any kind of drum mag, will have a high failure to feed, and generally just as the mags get bigger, the chance to fail gets higher. It's important to note, though, high is a relative term. I think low is, I don't know the actual numbers, but low is like think of it like 0.5% and high as like 2.5%. It's not like if I use this drum mag, it's going to jam every 5th bullet. But, you know, the chance is higher than if I were to use a 30-round mag. So let's talk about the third and arguably most important factor in gun malfunctions, and that's gun heat. The more you fire your gun, and the faster, the more the heat stacks up on the barrel, leading to a bright red barrel and a suppressor if you have one on. Really quite impressive to look at, but it's actually quite bad for your gun. One effect that's not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think, is it slightly increases the rate of fire. Your bullets cook off, I believe it's called. Just because of the heat, they go off a little faster, and that's cool and all, but it's really not worth the rest of the adverse effects on your gun, in that the damage each bullet does to the durability of the gun goes much, much higher based on the heat, and if you do reach maximum heat, then your gun is guaranteed to malfunction. And I know I had just mentioned that a gun above 93% absolutely will not malfunction for any reason. But the thing is, by the time you reach max heat, you can guarantee your gun has already taken more than 7 points of durability damage, so it's already underneath 93, even if you started at max. So, to illustrate this, we have a full durability gun. This is the same one we were reading the description of earlier, with a drum mag, as full as it can be, and we're just gonna fire it nonstop. Keep firing, keep firing, keep firing. Ran out of bullets. That was not a jam, unfortunately. That's probably about half heat right there. That's about stage 3, and then there's stage 4 we jammed. You know, even though this was a full durability gun, as you can see, it took a massive amount of bullets. That was probably about 100 fired nonstop. So it is pretty difficult to get to this point, but as you can see, we hit max heat, and we're at what? 88, 89? Yeah, 89 from full durability. Just to show you, we're going to fire a little bit more. I think I fire the rest of this mag, and we go from 89. Oh no, I reloaded a little bit. I reloaded till the next jam. So that was probably 8 bullets in the first mag, probably 20 in the second. And now we're down to 82. So those, you know, maybe 30 rounds took us down another 6 points of durability, which is pretty massive compared to, you know, the 0.1 per bullet or something like that at normal temperatures. So just be aware, small bursts are more accurate anyways. So unless you're really trying to suppress someone, try to avoid letting your heat get too high, which is indicated again by the barrel and the suppressor or whatever's on the end of it. You should be fine to avoid malfunctions due to overheat. So yeah, that pretty much covers the main factors. When a gun does malfunction, by default, you can clear it by pressing L to identify what went wrong, and then Shift T to clear it. So it is easier to change the keybinds to the same button. Use press option for inspect, and then release option for clear, or fix malfunction, whatever the actual label was. Be aware of your gun's durability and the mag size that you're using, and particularly when you're using a large mag, do try and watch your heat. It is quite difficult to heat it up as much as it would require to jam it, but it is still possible and something you should look to avoid. So I appreciate you watching. I hope it was informative. I hope it helped. If it did and you enjoyed the video, make sure you dab on that like button, yeet that subscribe, turn notifications on, and come see me for more Tarkov content later. Yeet!